Hey you guys, it's your girl Jocelyn. Thanks for tuning in. While you're at it, please subscribe on my YouTube at Jocelyn's Divine Purpose. Thank you. What if I told you that some religions have been manipulated, which has caused a big strain of mental illness on many of us in the world today? The book of Christianity, for example, Jesus is being taught in two different races, two different cultures, and two different religions, and his character is also being disrespected. Meanwhile, some people think that Jesus may have been from another race and they have that personal will. But we're trying to figure out who is Jesus. Although people think Jesus is God, and some people think Jesus is the Son of God because they have that free will. But we're also looking at this painted picture of Jesus as well. Question is, who was Jesus? And I think this is a question that both religions need to bring forth and bring clarity to. Coming from a very strict Christian family, which in fact I am not a Christian, I am very spiritual, and I have that personal will. I still feel the need to address how Jesus' name has just been, disrespected for so many years, and how his character has also been disrespected, which in fact that was not who Jesus was as a great humanitarian and a powerful leader. And FYI, in the spiritual world, there is no negativity, there is no scarcity, and there is no judgment. There is no crucifying, there is no abomination, there is not anything negative. And that's what they are bringing on into the book of Christianity, and that is not who Jesus was. The black culture, he was described to be a man of color from his complexion and the description of his wool hair, which is very common in the black race. So if we envision Jesus just as this nice, powerful leader who stood up and helped those in the world, forgave those in the world, and was possibly lynched, defending his Christianity and his culture, well then, that is a beautiful way to acknowledge a person and their leadership. And back in those days, enslavement was very, very common. I even learned from some intelligent preschoolers during Black History Month from a community that I grew up in that they even called Harriet Tubman Moses, which explained how Jesus and Moses inspirational stories and talents and gifts led other inspirational leaders like Harriet Tubman and others back in her generation to freedom and overcoming enslavement that was brought onto them, which in fact was brought onto their religion as well. So not only was they robbed from their personal freedom, but they were robbed from their personal religions and beliefs as well. And the cross had become a mockery back in that generation as well. And as we know, the cross is the symbol of Christianity, and this is, I think, where the image of Jesus died on the cross has came from, where he's been worshipped as a man of integrity and a powerful leader for all his great gifts and talents, which is a very great thing. So logically, I would perceive Jesus just how he was, a great man of character, a powerful leader, a natural herbalist who helped cure people, who understood people, and no matter how bad the world treated him or crucified him, he still learned how to forgive those people and to not judge those people, because he knew he couldn't change those people, and he knew that he was just a man of God living in his purpose, and just being a great leader of who he was as a great humanitarian. And because he was so powerful, his name has carried for hundreds of years in the book of Christianity. So this is where the manipulation and the mockery comes from. When our ancestors were robbed from their personal freedom and forced into enslavement, they also made a mockery of, the book of Christianity, and painted Jesus as a whole different person, a whole different culture, and a whole different race. Only this time, he's perceived to be a different race, and he kind of got like barbed wires and thorns hanging out his head. He has blood coming out of his eyes as tears, and he's nailed to this cross. And for hundreds of years, we are looking at this picture from the programming that was brought on to us by our government systems, our school systems, our families, and our religions that happened over hundreds of years ago, back in the Old Testament, when they were robbed from their personal freedom, which means they were robbed from their personal beliefs as well, and things were rewritten as a mockery and a manipulation to kind of scare those who believed in Christianity, and also held them back from being their true and authentic selves. And the more we look at this traumatic picture, who wouldn't it scare? It would scare hundreds of people for hundreds of years, because now they are labeling Jesus as, if you do this, you're going to be crucified, you're going to be condemned, and they're kind of using his name as, just as a demonic character. Instead of acknowledging Jesus for who he was and his great character of being a powerful leader, I think this is where the manipulation comes in at, which led us to be taught that if we made certain mistakes, that we would be condemned, and demonic things will happen to us. And that is scary, looking at this picture that already have nails and thrones, and just a traumatic force to look, or just a traumatic image to look at, versus if we just read who Jesus was and acknowledge who he was as a great humanitarian, well, then we will understand that Jesus literally do not judge people. He don't hurt people. He don't wish negative energies on people. This is where the manipulation comes in, I believe, which has caused a lot of mental illness on the Black culture. And I personally think, the control that they had over our ancestors with robbing them from their personal freedom and forcing them into enslavement, which a lot of our ancestors was taught to just leave their faith into God. But those like Harriet Tubman, she left her faith into God, but she also had to put in physical work and follow her spirituality and that led her down the right path into freedom. And not only her, but other ancestors that was enslaved back in those days as well. And we also have to understand that our spirituality plays a big role in things as well, which also played a big role in Jesus' leadership, Moses' leadership, and Harriet Tubman's leadership as leaders, because as we know, our spiritual is one within. Our spiritual is our physical. It is just one within. It is not separate, nor is it a religion. It's that spirit inside of you, that little voice that tells you which way to go in life. So it navigates you through life, telling you go this way because it feels good, or don't go this way because it don't feel good. We all have natural talents, gifts, and abilities within ourselves that we have to just discover by putting in the work of becoming healthy and fighting through these mental illnesses that was caused onto us. I hope you guys were inspired, and subscribe to my YouTube. Please make sure you hit that notification.